Yo, what is up guys, it Ghost here, welcome back to Stormgate Central. So in today's video, I wanted to highlight some of the best community resources when it comes to Stormgate, because even though the game is still in beta and isn't into early access yet, there are some really useful resources out there that the community have been putting together, unit encyclopedias, build order guides, leaderboards, and etc. So I just wanted to highlight some of these for you guys if you're looking for some extra resources other than YouTube and of course the official stuff from Frost Giant Games. Before we get into the video though guys, if you are looking for more Stormgate content in the future, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos here on the channel. We will be covering lots more going forward, all of the important Stormgate news, but also build orders, casts, and all of that good stuff as we approach early access. So, as always guys, thanks for the support. Okay, so the first one here is called rtsbase.com, and this guy's already done this for StarCraft 2, and now just recently he started doing this for Stormgate as well. So if we head on into the unit encyclopedia here, and there are a few different ways that you can view this page. It's pretty rudimentary right now, but you can see that you've got all of the information about every building and unit in the game that you need. So really handy if you want to keep this, for example, on a second monitor as a reference when you're doing a build or you're trying to perfect something. You can just keep an eye on, how much units cost, what are the build times, how much supply, etc. And also really handy that you can see some more in-depth details as well. So if we go and find, for example, let's take the EXO here. You've got all of this information in one place. So if you try to look up this info in-game, you guys know how it works in RTSs. You have to scroll over the weapon and then it shows you the weapon stats. Then you scroll over the armor and it shows you those stats. And when you're learning a new game like Stormgate, it's kind of difficult to remember everything. So having a resource like this is really nice. Now, what's even better, though, is that he has actually calculated out how many resources it takes to constantly build one of any unit in the game. So here for the EXOs, for example, we can see that the income required to produce one EXO continuously, so out of one barracks, is 5 workers on Luminite and 1 on the Therium. So if we go and bump this up to 3, then you can see with 12 workers on each Luminite mine at a maximum, if you expand here, it's going to take 16 of those workers and then 4 workers on Therium to constantly produce 3 EXOs out of 3 barracks. Now, obviously, that's the reason there. You can see that most pros go to 3 racks as Vanguard once they get onto 2 bases, because, of course, you need to have those extra Luminite workers, the other 8 workers there, building habitats for supply, building research structures, building new expansions and stuff like that. If you move it up to 4 EXOs continuously, now we can see that we actually need 22 workers and 5 on Therium to sustain the production continuously. Obviously, 2 extra workers is not going to be enough to build all of the habitats you're going to need for the food supply and etc. So, this tool here just really saves you a lot of time of trying things out yourself. Now, that is not all. Down here, he's also made a table where you can make a comparison of, any 2 compositions of units. So here we've got the EXO and the Gaunt, but, you can select whatever you want here. So let's say we select 5 EXOs and we put those 5 EXOs up against 8 Gaunts. Now you've got a really nice comparison of the costs for all of the units here, also the build time. You've got the starting health, damage per hit, damage per second, etc. But probably the most important one is remaining health. So here it's telling us that the 5 EXOs should have 222 health remaining, and the Gaunts have 0. So essentially these 5 EXOs should be able to kill 8 Gaunts. If we put this up to 9 Gaunts, the EXOs still come out on top. As soon as we put it up to 10 though, the Gaunts are going to kill the EXOs. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect and it's not going to turn out the same way in every situation, but it still gives you a really nice understanding. Okay, next up we have luminite.gg, and this website is looking very promising. There are a number of sections here over on the left side, but what's most interesting to me are the build orders. So I believe anybody can post a build order in here. And let's take a look at it, for example, Parting's 4-minute Gaunt drop that he, of course, made pretty famous in the EGC TV Cup or the tournament a couple of weeks ago. That one goes into this flaming imp push. So, video guides are great and video resources are fantastic, but they're not really the kind of thing that you want to be watching as you're doing this build and as you're practicing this build. So this, again, something really nice to have open on your second monitor. You can reference all of the timings, every single step that he does to get that Doombringer out at 338, which is ridiculously early for an 8 gaunt drop. Furthermore, they also have a leaderboard here that you can see. I'm going to show you guys another leaderboard over on Stormgate World because I do think it's a little bit better, but you know, this one works just as fine as well, so that's really cool. Here we've got some statistics for win rates and pick rates for the various factions. And then if you go down to units here, it looks like they're planning to do something similar as the Stormgate Encyclopedia that we saw on this one here on RTS base. So we have all of the unit costs in here. And if you scroll over the atlas, you can see it says build time and cost. They haven't quite finished it yet, so I can only assume that in the future, we're going to see these interesting comparison tables and other resources being built upon Luminite GG here as well. Now, if we head over to Stormgate World, I know many of you will already be familiar with this website, but for the few of you out there who aren't, this is Stormgate World. Really, really nice resource overall. We, of course, have the leaderboard. This is the leaderboard of choice that I use. I really like it. It shows not just the ranking points, but you can also check MMR. You can look up any player that you want. And then if you head into the content section, there's a bunch of videos here. One from me there. That's really nice to see. Thank you so much for featuring that video, guys. And then if you come over to tools, we've got a number of tools here. So Luminite GG is there. There's also the replay renamer, which I'm not really going to cover. I don't know if it actually works anymore. It is a Python script, so it's pretty complicated. And honestly, Frostgiant are probably going to put this functionality into the game fairly soon. But let's take a look at the streamer overlay here. So, for example, if I go and put my account in here, Ghost Gaming, and then you pick whatever theme that you want, and then you basically just go ahead and copy this to your clipboard, and you can put this as a browser source into OBS. So if you're planning to live stream Stormgate, this will appear on your opponent when you're playing the game. Now, it disappears for me, and I'm not sure why, but in the leaderboard, it says that I'm like bronze, which is totally incorrect, so I'm not sure why it's not pulling the correct data. But once you started a game, it will show your opponent all of your stats on screen. The reason it's disappearing for me is because there is no game currently going on. So once you're in a game and it's being played, it will constantly pull those stats from Stormgate World. So there you go, guys. I hope you find these resources useful. I really just wanted to shine a light on some of the work that's being done here by people in the community, because sometimes I don't really feel like people get enough credit for that sort of stuff. And me personally, I'm definitely quite an analytical person. I really like numbers and weighing odds and all that kind of stuff. So I figured if you're that type of person as well, then you'll probably do like I have and bookmark all of these websites in a folder in Google Chrome, and then I'm just sort of referencing them constantly on my second monitor. Works really, really well, and I think if you're looking to improve your play at Stormgate especially, there's some really great resources to have available there. I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. If you did, leave a like down below, and if you missed this game the other day between Probe and Skilless, feel free to check that one out. But otherwise, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.